So you did everything you were supposed to. You read the articles, you listened to the podcast, and you finally drank the Kool-Aid. You walked into the weight room, ignored the machines that look like medieval torture devices, and you started lifting. You added squats, you started deadlifting, you did lunges. You did all of it to become a stronger, faster, more resilient, bulletproof runner. But instead, something's gone wrong. Your stride, which used to feel fluid, now feels like you're running in wet cement. You got new exotic aches and pains in your knees and hips. Your running form has never felt worse, and hey, maybe you're even a little bit slower. You put in all this extra work, all this sweat, and let's be honest, all this awkwardness in the gym, only to feel like your body's at a war with itself. It's a frustrating place to be. If you're tired of your efforts in the gym making you a more painful, less efficient runner, then you are exactly in the right place. Because the problem isn't that you're lifting weights, the problem is how you're lifting weights. There is a huge disconnect between how most runners approach strength training and what their bodies actually need to translate that strength into pain-free speed on the road. Today, I'm going to break down the disconnect. I'll show you the 3 biggest mistakes runners make when you start lifting. Mistakes that directly lead to stiffness, pain, lousy performance, and more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix them so you can finally build strength that actually makes you faster, more powerful, and genuinely pain-free runner. Now, I've been a runner for decades, since the 80s, and I've been lifting weights for probably about half that time. And I have learned a lot of ways to do it right and a lot of ways to do it wrong. So I have some good ideas of what probably is going on with your life. To understand why your good intentions have led to bad outcomes, think of your body like a car. Running is the act of driving it. Your aerobic capacity is your fuel tank. The bigger the tank, the longer you can go. Strength training in this analogy is like upgrading your engine. A stronger engine can produce more force. So if you spent weeks in the gym building a bigger, more powerful engine, your squats and deadlifts have made your glutes and quads undeniably stronger. You have more horsepower. But there's a trade-off everyone misses. You bolted a V8 engine into a chassis of a Honda Civic. You built all this new force production capacity, but you did nothing to upgrade the transmission, the suspension, and the tires. What happens then? You get a car that's jerky, inefficient, and constantly breaking down. This is precisely what's happening probably in your body. You built this capacity to produce force, but you haven't taught your body how to use that force in a specific rhythmic and elastic context of running. This is a great disconnect. And this is where that deep frustration comes from. You see other runners getting faster, you know you're getting stronger with them, so why are you not getting sidelined with an IT band syndrome and a nagging knee pain? So you start to question the whole thing. Maybe lifting isn't for runners, or at least just for you. Maybe you should just go back to logging in your miles. You feel like your body has betrayed you, when in reality you just haven't given yourself but in reality you just given it a set of conflicting instructions. The pain you're feeling isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of miscommunication between your muscles and your nervous system. Running isn't just a feat of brute strength, it's a skill of elasticity. It's about your body's ability to act like a spring, absorbing impact and powerfully rebounding with every step. Traditional strength training, when it's focused only on slow, heavy lifts, can create an imbalance. The choice to train for maximal strength moves you toward it becoming great at producing force, but it can move you away from that spring-like quality you need for running if you don't also train for it. It increases muscle stiffness without a corresponding adaptation in your tendons and connective tissues. Your stride becomes rigid, impact forces go up, your efficiency plummets, and your body starts to break down under the stress. And here's the most frustrating part. The pain and stiffness often does not show up the next day. This isn't the obvious muscle soreness you feel after a hard workout. This is a slow burn. The real culprit is accumulative neuromuscular fatigue. A heavy lifting session on Monday creates subtle, almost imperceptible changes in your running mechanics the days afterward. Your brain and nervous system are tired. Your coordination falters just a little bit. You do this week after week and those tiny changes in your gait accumulate. 2, 3, even 4 weeks later. That's when the shin splints flare up and that hamstring starts to grab. And because of this delay, you never connect the dots back to the lifting routine earlier. You blame your shoes, your mileage, your age, anything but the real problem. So today we're going to connect the dots. We're going to expose the common mistakes that create this disconnect and give you the blueprint to bridge the gap between the gym and the road. Alright, let's fix this mess. The good news is that turning this around doesn't require you to live in the gym, it just requires a strategic shift in your approach. We're going to break this down to 3 most common pain-inducing mistakes I see runners make, and the simple, powerful fix for each and every one of these. The most fundamental mistake is misunderstanding of the goal. When you walk into the gym and follow a standard powerlifting program, bodybuilding workout, whatever it may be, you're training for one thing and one thing only: maximum force production. It's about lifting a heavy weight up and down. The choice moves you toward being as strong in a linear fashion, but it moves you away from the most critical quality of a runner: elastic energy return. Think about the difference between a sledgehammer and a bouncy ball. A sledgehammer produces immense force, but it just hits and stops. A bouncy ball hits the ground and immediately springs back up using the energy from the impact to propel itself. A traditional lifting program done in isolation trains your body to be a sledgehammer. Running requires you to be a bouncing ball. To fix this, you need to program your training to develop both ends of the spectrum. You need the engine and the suspension. You do this by combining heavy lifting with plyometrics and controlled eccentrics. First, heavy resistance training. Don't be afraid to lift heavy though. Research shows that lifting loads at or above 80% of your 1 rep max is highly effective for improving running economy, especially at faster speeds. The key is to choose moves toward the strength without moving away from sound mechanics. For lifts like squats or deadlifts, stick with a 3 to 5 rep range. Second, you have your plyometrics. These are your bouncy ball exercises. Explosive movements like box jumps or skater jumps directly train the stretch shortening cycle in your muscles and tendons. This is your body learning to be a spring. Research suggests plyometrics can be particularly effective at improving economy at slower running speeds, while combined heavy lifting and plyo work offers the most effective benefit of all. Adding just a couple sets of 8 to 10 reps of a jumping exercise to your routine twice a week can make a huge difference. Third is controlled eccentrics. This is the lowering phase of a lift, the descent in a squat, for example. By intentionally slowing this phase down to 3 to 5 second count, you build incredible resilience in your tendons. This controlled lowering helps your connective tissues adapt to high forces of running. It's a choice that moves you toward durability and away from being brittle. So for your main lifts, try a set or up to 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps that are slow, controlled descent. Combining these elements gives you the best of both worlds, the force production of heavy lifting and an energy return of a bouncing ball. By the way, if this is starting to make sense, drop a comment below. Let me know which of these you've been neglecting, the heavy stuff or the bouncy stuff. It helps me see what you're struggling with, and it helps other runners realize they're not alone. The second mistake is almost universal among frustrated runner lifters. You spend an hour in the gym, hit a new PR in your squat, and feel powerful. Then you pack up and walk out. You've successfully compartmentalized training. Lifting happens here, running happens there, and the two never speak to each other. This is a recipe for disaster. Why? Because you've just spent an hour teaching your body to produce force in a stable, controlled environment. A squat is a vertical movement. A deadlift is a hinge. Running is chaotic, dynamic, rhythmic series of single leg bounds. When you don't immediately tell your nervous system how to integrate the new strength into your running pattern, it will get confused. Yes, muscles can actually get confused, mostly through neuromuscular connection. It has all to do with also horsepower, but no instructions. So it reverts to old patterns, now supercharged with more force. And this is where mechanics break down. You overstride. Your ground contact time increases. Your cadence drops. You're essentially flooring the gas pedal in a car that's out of alignment. The choice moves you away from efficiency and directly toward pain. And the solution is deceptively simple. You have to bridge the gap beyond the gym in the road before you ever leave. Give your nervous system immediate instructions on how to apply your new strength. The single most important habit is performing post-lift strides. After your last set of squats or lunges, don't just go stretch. Find a treadmill or a 100-meter patch of grass and form 6 to 8 easy, smooth strides out at around a 5K pace. Not a workout. The focus is entirely on form. You are actively telling your brain, okay, that new glute strength, this is how we use it to drive that knee. That new quad stability, this is how we use it to land. It will recalibrate your gait in real time. To enhance this, add a few classic running form drills. A couple 20-meter sets of high knees, butt kicks, A-skips serve as an exaggerated rehearsal of proper mechanics. Doing this right after lifting helps solidify those correct movement patterns. Don't leave your hard-earned gains in the gym. Take 5 extra minutes to translate them to the road. And the final mistake isn't about what you're doing, but when you're doing it. A lot of runners treat their training week like a checklist. Monday run, Tuesday lift, Wednesday hard run, Thursday lift. They track on strength training sessions wherever there's a free slot, treating running and lifting as 2 separate things fighting for the body's limited resources. This ignores the impact that heavy lifting has on your central nervous system. A tough leg day doesn't just create muscle soreness, it creates deep neural fatigue that can impair your ability to recruit muscles efficiently for up to 48 hours or even longer. So you do a heavy squat session on Monday. On Wednesday, you have a critical speeds workout. Your muscles don't feel sore, but you head to the track and you just can't hit your paces. Your form feels sloppy. That's the ghost of Monday's lifting session. Your nervous system is still recovering, and it cannot handle demands of a high-intensity run. This choice to stack hard days without proper spacing moves you away from quality training and toward this vicious cycle of burnout and injury. On top of that, it's a general principle that muscles adapt to strength gains faster than connective tissues like tendons and ligaments do. By constantly being in a state of fatigue, you're strengthening your engine but leaving your transmission and chassis vulnerable. The solution is to think of your training as one holistic system. The guiding principle is to polarize your week. Keep your hard days hard and your easy days truly easy. First, the 48-hour rule of thumb. As a guideline, avoid scheduling a heavy lower body lift within 48 hours of a high intensity running workout, like intervals or a tempo run. This is going to give your CNS a fighting chance to recover so you can actually perform on your quality run days. And second, pair your sessions intelligently. The best way to manage fatigue is to stack your hardest efforts on the same day. This sounds crazy, but it actually works. Do your hard running workout in the morning and then your heavy lifting in the evening. That becomes your designed hard day. Next day is then a dedicated, truly easy recovery day. This is going to prevent the fatigue from one session from bleeding into the ruining the another. If 2 days are out, the next best choice is to pair your heavy lift with your easy run day. And the cardinal rule is your quality run days are sacred. Protect them. So let's put a bow on all this. The reason your weight training has been causing pain is not because lifting is bad, it's because of a disconnect between building raw strength and applying it to fit the specific skill of running. We fix this by addressing the 3 big mistakes. First, we stop training only for strength and start training for elasticity. We do this by combining effective heavy lifting with explosive plyometrics and controlled eccentrics to build durable springy tissues. Second, we stop leaving our gains in the gym. We use simple post-lift strides and drills to immediately teach our body how to use this new strength in a running specific way. And third, we stop letting our training schedule sabotage us. We use strategic scheduling, respecting that 48-hour rule for CNS recovery, and pairing workouts intelligently. Notice this isn't about adding hours of work, it's about being more strategic. Research consistently shows that a well-programmed combination of strength in running improves running economy. It's about working smarter, not just harder. You don't need to lift like a bodybuilder. In fact, you shouldn't. The goal isn't to get bulky. It's about becoming a very powerful, efficient runner. A couple of focus sessions a week is all it takes. The bottom line is this. The pain you've been feeling is a symptom of a flawed approach, not a flawed body. The pain is from the disconnect between the brute strength you built and the dynamic skill of running. You started this to become a stronger, more resilient runner, and you absolutely can. By choosing to build reusable, elastic strength, by consciously integrating that strength into your movement, and by respecting your body's need for recovery. You do more than just avoid pain. You build a body that is not only faster and more powerful, but one that is truly resilient. If this video helped connect the dots for you, hit that subscribe button. I put out new videos every week to help you train smarter. And as your next step, check out the videos on the screen where I break down the 5 most effective strength exercises that build the elastic, pain-free running stride we've been talking about. Thank you for watching.